Welcome to the Generation Elevation podcast, a conscious, connected platform for those who are ready to manifest their dream life. I'm your host, Elise Riley, a former PT, now motivational speaker, igniting empowerment and transformation all across the globe. Here at Generation Elevation, we are committed to bringing you the most inspiring guests who will share their stories, wisdom, and advice to help you progress closer to living a life of your own terms. Welcome back to another episode of Generation Elevation. Today I am joined by one of my bestest friends in the entire world. She is a spiritual and business coach. She's bringing energetic strategy and structure into those wanting help in their business. She's bringing esoteric development into your brand to align you with the abundance code.
Yes.
Yes, she is. Like I said, she is my bestest friend. And with that said, I am so honored to introduce to you today, Natalie Paterson.
Hey, babe. Thank you for so much for having me on your podcast today.
Thank you for being.
Yeah. So cool.
So cool to have you here. And I know that today is going to be super magical. We're going to go over some really different topics that my listeners haven't heard of before. And I think there's going to be a lot of value out of today.
Yeah, me too. Thanks so much.
I can feel it already.
Great.
So for those of you that don't know Natalie, maybe just where are you from? And let's just start with that. Where are you from? How old are you?
Great.
And how are you now doing spiritual business coaching for people? What is the abundance codes? Let's just delve into all of that.
Let's do all the things. Cool. Thanks so much, babe. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Natalie Paterson. I am a Kiwi girl, born and bred. Mm-hmm. I've moved to Melbourne 12 years ago, moved up to the Gold Coast 2 years ago, and I have been traveling here, there, everywhere, and I'm now residing in a beautiful place called Pacific Pines. So 2 years ago, I moved up to the Gold Coast, had my spiritual awakening, and was like, my spirit guide said, you need to go all the way to the Gold Coast, something amazing is going to happen. And I'm like, what the fuck am I meant to do, you know? And slowly but surely I met the right people, started to connect with like-minded individuals that had, you know, had these beautiful spiritual awakenings and really wanted to create conscious living. And I really wanted to be a coach. So I started Starseed Society, my business, at the start of last year, with the intention of awakening all the starseeds to impact and create a beautiful world to form a society. So it was January last year, I launched transformational coaching. From there, I, helped 60 to 70 people get out of anxiety, depression, helped a lot of people through really dark times. And partway through last year, I keep getting these downloads from Spirit saying, you're going to host these events, you're going to help people create their mission, you're going to connect people to their spirit guides. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like it fills my heart with so much joy and passion. And so all I had to do was follow the synchronicities, follow the breadcrumbs. And I was led to Bali in December last year where I needed to do some deep healing. And it was so beautiful. I went into a sound bowl meditation. Mm-hmm. And this was in these amazing big pyramids called the Pyramids of Chi in Bali. If you haven't gone, go. It's absolutely amazing. And I was laying there and I had this beautiful big Indian chief spirit guide come to me and he said, follow the whispers of the universe. This is your next mentor. And I was over there with a lady over there and she was a good girlfriend of mine at the time. And I was like, right, she's going to be my next mentor. And as soon as I sat down with her, we birthed these fucking incredible transformational events, which I've now hosted 2 in the Gold Coast, soon to be Melbourne, then Sydney, then going to New Zealand hometown next year, which is super cool. And from there, I have been able to develop my skills more and more into strategy, business, energetics. And I've had so many different mentors now that with my guidance of working with spirit, my ability to channel, and then also my business acumen, I've been able to develop these techniques to help high-level entrepreneurs get to the next stage in their business, which has been fucking cool. And I'm so grateful that I get to do this. So that's a little bit about what I do now. I've just celebrated my biggest month.
Yes, tell us.
Go us. Get on. Get $101,000 in sales, which is really cool. And then where you
Special effects.
Oh, fuck yes, special effects. Get it. Oh my God. Yeah, she did it. And this had been such a massive goal of mine since October last year.
Yeah.
One of my dear best friends, Jackson, shout out to Jackson. He had been inspiring me to go for 100K. He's going for 100 million this year. Mm-hmm. And he's like, if I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I can do it, you do it. And he just keeps saying that on repeat to me. So it built certainty and built belief within myself, right? And I kept setting the intentions. I kept manifesting. I kept calling in my guides. And quite literally 2 days before the end of February, I said to myself, come on, spirit guides. Like, I pray for a miracle. I want to make $100,000. So I quite literally made on the 28th of February, the very last day, I made $46,000 in sales, and I was able to kick it. And I was like, yes, I've done it. And I quite literally was able to call Jackson on FaceTime, bawling my eyes. I'm like, I've done it. I've cracked the codes. Woo! And then he's like, babe, I want you to do 150 in March. And I'm like, fuck, how am I going to do that? And I was like, you know what? I'm following the call. I'm following the guidance. I'm following the breadcrumbs. Like, Natalie, you can do this. Today's the 3rd, right? Today's the 3rd? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So I've made $46,000 in sales. Oh, actually, no. Wait, I'm lying. We calculated it before and it was 48,500.
Yeah.
Yeah. 48,500 in 3 days. So fuck.
Joyce.
150,000 this month will be easy. And you know, I want to give you guys 3 top tips because a lot of people have been asking me about this. I've been sharing it on my social media, and if you knew me, let's go for a little story. Let's wind it back a little bit. Okay, guys. Backtrack. All right. Backtrack. So, and then I'm going to give you my 3 top tips on being really successful. So, rewind it a little bit. This time last year, I bought a $500 car. This car leaked. Do you remember this fucking car?
I think I've deleted it from my memory.
She's like, it's a piece of shit now. Get that fucking thing out of my memory. Oh, that's so funny.
It served its purpose.
It took me from A to B.
Yeah.
I saw you a few times in that car. Thanks, car. We love you. So this car literally leaked. Like when it rained, the water would fall in and get into the bottom of the car, and on the left side it would just sloosh every time I was driving. Sloosh. It would sloosh. And I was like, what is going on? And it stunk. It was horrible. The thing is, I was so committed into my business and so committed into my vision and my goals, and I was like, doesn't matter what kind of car I'm driving or how embarrassed I am to get in this fucking thing. Ego fully had to get out of the way and just serve its purpose. I invested into a few different mentors. I borrowed money of my brother. I borrowed money of my parents. And I was like, at this point, I hadn't been working I had done like casual jobs here and there. I had a really successful lash business in Melbourne, sold that, blew the money. Yep. Yay. Yay to old Natalie and her past traumas.
Her antics.
And so, you know, from this time last year, quite literally February, March last year, I think I was doing like $3,000 in my coaching business to now being able to do this and impact so many beautiful humans and be able to transform their life. It's amazing. And so this comes into the top 3 tips, right, guys? So first things first, do not fucking listen to anyone that tells you can't do something. Boom. Or that is going to judge you because they are not in alignment for you. Like someone like Elise and I, we literally on New Year's Eve went to this billionaires.
I did a podcast on it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I need to listen to it.
Yeah. It's like the New Year's experience of taking a leap of faith.
Guys, if you haven't listened to that podcast, get on it.
Get on it.
It was so wild.
It was
we literally were in this $1 billion billionaire's house, and we were just holding hands being like, we're millionaires.
It was a penthouse
overlooking the whole of Sydney. DJ had 220,000 followers on Instagram. They had fucking security guard. They had burger guys.
It was wild.
They had really
never
hot
experienced
bar
anything
stuff. Like,
like
just fucking wild. And we were just sitting there like, we are so abundant, and we called this in and we got to create this. So, you know, you want people in your life like a lease. Everyone needs a little bit of a lease.
Yes. We were talking about this before.
Yes, we were. That's why I said it.
That's why I have my podcast, guys.
So cool. So the biggest thing is that so many people that say to me, oh, fuck, here she goes, starting another business. Oh, yeah, I don't believe Nat. She says she's going to be a millionaire, whatever. You know, like so many people rolled their eyes at me, and that gave me so much drive to be like, I'll fucking show you what I can do.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny how like only you and I out of our group, you know, that we know in our network were on that boat or on that, that
totally.
penthouse. It's cool.
And we, you know, we always inspire one another. We always lift each other up. And it's like, these are the other friendships that you want to call into your space. These are the people that are going to propel you forward. So that's number one. Get your tribe right. The 5 people you associate yourself with are who you are. So one of my best friends, he's going for 100 million. Elise is super successful. The girl that I like live with, she lives in the top of the house. I live in a little granny flat. She, you know, has owned a wellness center and sold it and had built lots of different properties. Like, you want to be surrounding yourself with people that are high level and that are thinking in different ways. Right? Second thing, if you can dream it, you can do it. You have to build so much belief in yourself that you can do this. Create that certainty, have that conviction, see that goal, and fucking anchor yourself to it. Rain, hail, shine, baby, you get it. You get up, you get into it, and you fucking stay committed. And, you know, this entrepreneurial lifestyle that we live, it's so about mindset. It's so about this conscious living. It's so about the healing work and the getting through the layers and all these beautiful, wonderful things. And at the very bottom point, it's like you are the only person that is going to fuck you over from you staying between you and your goals. And I mean, most of you that are into mindset, into being an entrepreneur and being an athlete, being on your podcast, those sort of things, you will know how incredibly important it is for you to have your goal and stay laser focused. Like, you know, create that vision, create that mission, create that statement, visualize it, call it into your awareness, set the intentions, you know, call yourself forward, call your higher self forward. And these things here will then propel you forward, right? The third thing that you need to do is get your money blueprint right. If you're running unconscious patterns that you are not going to be worthy of money, guess what, sister? You're fucking not going to be.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. So really retraining my money blueprint, really rewiring the stories that perhaps my family told me or my friends told me when I was younger, or really simple things that played big parts in my life. If you can rewire that, create a new belief system, new structure, then you can really achieve anything you want. And I know like that's a huge thing that you do in your coaching sessions, babe, is like really helping people rewire the unconscious patterns that they've created, or, you know, create new systems or get through those limiting beliefs. That is so key to you getting to the next level in your abundance. And so when I talk about the abundance codes, coming back to your first question, the abundance codes is all about you having enough belief in yourself, healing all of the bullshit that goes around it, and then you being true to yourself and calling in your goal and your mission. Yeah. Wow. That's a rant and a half, babe.
Oh, that was powerful. I love it. I love it. And so, all right, I really would love to delve deep into where you started. We kind of touched on your car and the situation there and your antics going from the lash business to now like a multimillionaire coach, right?
Yes, that's
famous channeler.
Yeah. Yes,
okay,
baby.
so how does one go from that to where you are now? What are like the 3 biggest things that have shaped you to who you are today? Happened to you, for you?
Yes, I love it so much. Okay, awesome. I want to start back when I was younger. So when I go back into 17. So when I was 17, my auntie died in a sudden car accident. Then my grandfather got cancer. Then my dad got cancer. My grandfather actually passed away. And then within a space of 6 months, I had lost 2 very important people to me and my dad having cancer. So
big time.
This really fucked me up. Like well and truly. sent me on a really dark path. And so what actually happened was I started abusing drugs and I ended up being on ice. So that has been a huge shape shifter into my reality now, right? So I've gone to the darkest of the darks. I was very suicidal. I didn't want to be here. I felt so ashamed, so guilty that I had put myself in that position, plus in like what I put my family through. And so it was probably, maybe I'd gotten clean for like a couple of months, and then my best friend passed away. And when she died, I remember going to the hospital and seeing her. She was in a car crash, and I saw all these stents and all these tubes out of her body, and I remember looking at her and just being like, what the actual fuck, that should have been me. And I made that commitment to myself then and there that I was not going to play small in this life. And it was a huge pivotal moment of being like, I've got to get my fucking shit together. And so I was working in a pretty good job. I was a manager at Platypus Shoes, and actually my area manager had said to me a few months after that, he was like, you need to come with me and you need to come into sales. You need to come and learn this corporate world. And I was like, fuck that. Like, I've got tattoos and piercings. Like, that's not me. And I was like, so rebelling, you know? And he was like, come with me. Like, I can help you, inspire you. And I went into hardcore corporate business meetings every morning. And I had a cunt of a boss at that time. Right? Full on, like, politics like I've never seen before. Like, that real plugged into the matrix. Everyone's there. Everyone hates their job. Everyone hates each other. It was just such a toxic environment. And I was like, this must be my mindset too. Now knowing what I know as well, like I created that darkness, you know, I was still very, very unhealed. And
life's your mirror.
Yes. And all that was just being mirrored to me was just this darkness. And I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. And so I was like, I don't want to work for the man. Like, I don't want to go and be plugged into the system. So that was another key point in my life where I was like, how do I break away from this fucking matrix, this slavery that's like, I go to work, I grind, I come home, I don't have any time. Like, today's a Friday. I came over, we sat outside.
On the canals,
looked at the swans, talked, laughed. After this, we're going to go get our nails done and have lunch together. Like, oh, I want this lifestyle.
Not a worry in the world.
There's no worry in the world, babe. And we're abundant, we love each other, we've got so many good friends and family. Like, this is real life. Being plugged into Matrix isn't. And so when I had that realization, I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. When I started a lash business, I was unaware of how successful I would be. And so I've always been pretty abundant. Like, I started earning really, really good money when I was younger, and I've always believed that I could be a millionaire. And I really, I tried network marketing when I was 17 before the drug thing. With my older brother, and I remember listening to entrepreneurs then. And so, you know, a few times whilst being in really dark places, I would listen to Les Brown and, you know, an incredible transformational speaker, and he would inspire me. And of course, when I was in my dark path, I'd then go back into the dark path. However, bring it back around. So second key important thing was that, plugging out of the matrix and realizing that I can actually create abundance myself. So 23 years old, I started my lash business, and that grew incredibly quickly. So much so that I was like, I need to hire another person. I need to buy a salon. Like, I had clients coming out of my bum, which was really cool. And then, you know, going into COVID, my business shut down. And so I was like, what else can I do? So I learned how to do drop shipping. So I actually started a drop shipping business.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't know if have I ever told you that?
I don't think you have.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks, baby. So it was called Nacy Designs, which is Natalie and Lacey. Lacey's my little sister's name. And the intention was to have homewares, artwork, and just drop ship everything. So created this full online brand, you know, went into different courses, learned all about it, spent like 8 months researching, learned so much about marketing. And then from there, I got some things drop shipped. It took 3 months, and I was like, this is a waste of time. So shut the business down because COVID, you know, back then, nothing was working. So then the third point I want to bring to the table here is that the third key thing that propelled me into successful business was investing in my mindset and investing in my business, whatever business that is. So, you know, for lashes, I invested into marketing, I invested into strategy, I invested into Instagram influencers, like that way. Then when I, you know, started this other business, it was like, okay, cool. How many courses can I do? Can I hire a mentor to help me do that? And then into the coaching industry, it's like, cool. What mentors can I invest in so that I can be the best investment, you know? And I've probably spent like in different businesses and on my mindset and different mentors and coaches, I've easily spent over 100,000 and now it's totally repaying itself.
Yeah.
And so it's all perfect, right?
Yeah, it is. It's so perfect.
Yeah, probably the other three key things in my life that has allowed me to do this.
Yeah, I love that so much. And it's really cool you sharing that to me just in that order, because for me, it's almost like I can look at that story or hear your story and kind of connect the breadcrumbs.
Yes, yeah. Now you know my whole
that
story,
have led
babe.
you to where you are today. It's really cool.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you.
So my next question would be money mindset, because this is something that you, like you said, you've switched in yourself from when you were younger with your upbringing and things like this that you'd had to work on over time to now be receiving this money that you've been wanting for such a long time. And I would love to hear about your stories where, you know, you'd invest in yourself and had that faith, even though like
yes.
it's the see it to believe it the piece and believing it to then see it. I'd love for you to touch on those times for you and where your money beliefs were at and how they are now.
Great.
And advice for the listeners on how they can shift their money beliefs.
Yeah, thank you so much, honey. So biggest key thing was I read this book called The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, and it's actually a prerequisite to work with me now is that you have to have listened to this book to come into my field, purely based on the fact that it goes through what's called the money blueprint. So how did your parents talk about money when you were growing up? How did, you know, your friends, you know, whatever you were interested in, whatever you modeled. So from the ages of 7 to 14, we model people in front of us. So for instance, I modeled my cousins and they wore, you know, branded clothes. So I was like obsessed with wanting to have branded clothes. In New Zealand, a big brand is called CCC. And I was like, oh my God, I want CCC pants. And they were $100. And back then, $100 was just like, probably like the equivalent of like $2,000 for a pair of pants now, right? Back then, you know, I'm 28. So yeah, when I was, you know, growing up, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I was like so obsessed with wanting these pants. And my parents were like, no, we can't afford that. And we had a beautiful house. Like my mum and dad worked their asses off. We had a pool, a spa, you know, motorbikes. We had a beautiful block of land. We had different animals. We went on holidays to Australia. Like we were well off. And however, mum would always say to us, we can't afford that. 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 And she wasn't saying it to say, we don't have any money. Like we can't afford that. We're in scarcity. She was not meaning it that way. However, I took it that way.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until I got a little bit older and I realized that, fuck, we were lucky. Like we had so much money. We had so much beautiful things and we lived such a lovely life that actually that was just an unconscious pattern that was playing out. So I had to do all this work around not having enough money and we didn't have enough money. So then as soon as I would get all this money, I quite literally had this spending addiction because it was like as soon as I had money, oh, I want to spend it because I'm not going to have money. And it's funny, I've talked to some other people that have been the same way as me and they were the opposite, that forced them into hardcore savings. And it's funny, the polarity that sometimes will play out in your mindset. And so, yeah, I would say going through the unconscious patterns that are playing out for you in money mindset is a huge key piece. The second thing that I've really worked strongly with my clients is worthiness. So a lot of women especially, and look, this is just in my belief system, so you can choose to reject this statement. However, in my awareness and my professional experience, a lot of women can't receive or don't want to receive at an unconscious level because they don't feel worthy. And so this is fucking sad. So when I coach people, I go through their ancestral lineage, I go through the past lives and I clear all of that so that they are able to step into their higher self of being worthy of that. And I had to do a lot of processes on being worthy. And I think that's a huge key piece as to how I've been able to bring in so much money, is I'm so fucking worthy.
Yeah.
And then underneath worthiness is also self-love, right? So huge key piece. If you don't love yourself, how can you call in that sort of money? And I mean, that's a belief system that I choose to have. And so I choose to clear that up in my clients, because if they're not loving themselves wholeheartedly, then how can they bring that vibration in? And so if we think about, if energy is money and money is energy, and if we can channel energy, like you and I are both very, very, very spiritual beings that love to connect to source and spirit guides and all the things, if we can channel those, how can we not channel money? And when I had this mindset shift was probably about 3 or 4 months ago, of being like, holy fuck, Nat, come on, get your shit together. Like if you can channel fucking aliens, you can channel these, you can channel money. And I was like, it's so simple. And then as soon as I just started to believe that I was worthy, I was like, I am worthy of this money. I can make a difference. And a huge thing that I always say when I first start to working with my clients is, what is your big dream? What is your end goal? What is the mission here? Like, why are you doing this? And so when I run my events are called What's My Mission?
Yeah.
And the reason for What's My Mission is to allow people access to the reason they were put on this earth. So my belief system is that, you know, every single person was born on this earth to live out their mission and to be in total alignment. So if more people can start to be in more alignment, that means that they'll get more money, because if money is energy and they're in alignment, then they're just channeling more money. And I was just like, oh my God. So that's how What's My Mission was birthed. And so this is the event that I will be taking all across Australia, all across New Zealand. And the intention is for everyone to fully activate their mission so that everyone can call in the abundance codes, because there is so much fucking money in the world. And for people that tell me that there's no money, I'm like, change your friend group. Talk about, go and speak to other people, because I've got friends that are making hundreds of millions of dollars. And like they have Rolls Royces in their garages,
Yes.
you know,
I know.
and you know, and it's like, yeah, we rock up to parties with billionaires and literally every single person there is at least a 6-figure income business, if not 7. And it's like, there is so much abundance in the world. If you keep thinking that there is no money in the world, or if you keep thinking that you can't do it, whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way you're right. Yeah. And so it's like, your belief system is the one thing that will carry you out for the rest of your fucking life. Get your mindset right. Yeah.
Get your mindset right.
Get your mindset right.
Chuck that on a t-shirt.
Please do. Yes.
So I have 2 questions that have birthed from that thread. So first question would be, what were specifically, like maybe just a couple of popcorn answers of your previous money beliefs versus your beliefs about it now? And then I'd love to go into the thread of channeling energy.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do that too.
Okay.
Cool. So popcorn, first things first was, I'm not worthy of that. I can't afford that. I can't do that. Money doesn't come to me. I'm poor. Fuck, I need more money. How do I get more money? Fuck, I need more money. How do I get more money? Oh, fuck, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. Fuck. Right?
Yeah.
Total scarcity. Now it's like, oh, yeah, sure. It's $800 for my team dinner. Okay, no worries. It's like, I'm just going to get an Uber there. Okay, yeah, no worries. And it's all perfect is the first thing. And you and I always say this to each other. It's all perfect. It's all perfect.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Like when our flight got cancelled and then we missed the other flight and then we're like, it's all perfect.
It's all perfect.
And we ended up getting a flight, guys.
Yeah, and it was perfect.
It's perfect.
I love that. And so now my mindset is like, great, reinvest that, Nat, reinvest that, Nat, reinvest that, Nat. That will come back. That will come back. That will come back. That will come back. I think last month I invested in my business, just different things, about 15,000. And I'm like, that's cool. It'll come back. I know it. And it's like that faith, that certainty, that trust, that knowing that what you put in, you can definitely come back to you. And second thing is that just trust. I trust that I can make the money. I'm abundant. I'm worthy. I'm beautiful. I'm whole. I am enough. And it's like these silly affirmations that, you know, I say silly because years ago I was doing these affirmations and I was like, oh, this is stupid. This isn't working. And after years and years and years of doing these affirmations every single day, guess what? I'm fucking worthy and I'm fucking abundant, you know? And so it works. And so, yeah, the popcorn answer is I'm worthy, I'm amazing. This is happening for me. Oh my God, this is amazing. Yes, I'm a millionaire. And yes, I say to myself all day, every day.
I'm famous.
I'm famous. I'm a multimillionaire. I'm famous. I'm a multimillionaire. And Elise and I will always call each other and be like, oh my God, I'm a millionaire. I'm like, I know, babe, we're millionaires. Oh my God, babe. And we always say it to each other. And it's like, these are your friends. Like, you need friends like this.
And celebrating the wins as well.
Totally.
I think especially some people may be even listening to this feeling a little bit triggered as well. And I know that for my journey, for my clients in particular, it's like celebrating other people's wins when they do sell clients or when they do make money or they do have a certain achievement. It's like they're just reflecting back to you the success that is so available and open to you as well. By feeling jealous or comparing yourself and thinking, oh, I'm not good enough, that's automatically bringing your vibration down, blocking that energy, that money energy away from you. So whether you're listening to this now and feeling a little bit like, oh, like that's a bit much, like maybe having a reflecting back to your own money beliefs and realizing that we're just reflecting back to you your own success and your own abundance.
And I so say this so much, like if this time last year I had a $500 car and I worked 3 jobs and I had debt coming out of my ass, literally.
Tell us the time when you had cents.
Oh my goodness. I had literally like cents in my bank account. I had no money to like even eat. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do?
What were you eating every day?
Toast, breakfast, lunch and dinner. And this was only this time last year. I kid you not. I kid you not, this time last year. And it's amazing what I've been able to achieve. And if I can do it, you can do it. And this is what I always say, like, if I can do it, you can do it. And actually, I want to thank you so much for the beautiful reflection. You know, a few months ago, you messaged me and you were like, oh my God, I just sold my, you know, most high ticket offer. And I was just like, whoa, if she can do it, I can do it. And I called it and we celebrated and I had tears in my eyes and I was like, babe, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I thought about Elise for like 3 days. I was like, she's fucking amazing. She's done it. Oh my God. And I kept texting her being like, I love you. I'm proud of you. I love you. I'm proud of you. And
thank you.
And I knew that just initiated me into the next step and then the next step and the next step and the next step. And it's like, if you can do it, I can do it. Yeah. And then I said the same thing to you now, baby.
If you can do it,
if I can do it, you can do it. Fuck yeah. And we're going to get it and we're going to win and we're going to celebrate and we're going to get on another fucking yacht.
But it will buy it this time.
Yes, we'll fucking buy the yacht. We actually just made a promise to ourselves when we're sitting on the canals. We're like, we have to get a canal. Like we have to get houses next to each other on a canal. And we're going to remember this podcast. Yeah. This is us saying it for accountability.
Yeah.
Let's get a house on the canal so we can do meditation together. Yeah.
Every morning we're just like, hey Nat, good morning.
It's a dream. It's a dream.
So good.
Yeah.
So all of this is energy.
Yes.
We're 99.9% energy.
Yes.
So if money's energy, if you and I are energy, if you can channel energy, how specifically can you do that to bring in those goals and things that you want? So for listeners, what are some like practical steps that they can utilize in their lives to potentially learn a bit more about channeling?
Yes, nice. First things first, I would say on my Instagram, I have a free manifestation workshop and it's an hour and a half. It's a manifestation technique that I use to make this sort of money. And it has worked incredibly well for my clients. And I absolutely think it is phenomenal. Manifesting is a huge thing. Allowing yourself the freedom to be able to see into higher consciousness, higher realms, higher frequency, higher timelines, if you will, that will allow you to create a belief system in yourself that you can call in. So setting your intentions locks in a law with the universe. I always say this to my clients. When you set the intention, what you're doing is you're calling in the universe and you're allowing it to conspire for you. So Elise and I went to Abraham Hicks and, you know, Abraham Hicks always talks about the vibration in which you're radiating at, you know, it will come back to you full circle. So what you put out, you get back. Most of us know this. Come on. Justin Timberlake was like, well, goes around, goes
Yes.
around, goes around, back around, back around. Justin Timberlake, thank you so much. Shout out to you. And, you know, that simple.
He's listening, by the way.
Justin Timberlake, I love you. Just to let you know. I just love you, mate. So
Peace.
peace, brother. Yeah. So with that, like, we know that the universe always hears us. You know, a lot of people have looked at The Secret or have looked at a law of attraction, and the principles of that is basically that what you put out, you get back. What you put out, you get back. And so with energy, with calling in money as energy, all you need to do is believe in the power of being a multidimensional being and allowing this energy to come through. Every time you have a belief system, you can create anything you want. So for those of you who don't know, you're a multidimensional being. Just thought I'd let you know. So we're all mortal beings that have been here time and time again, whether you've been on Earth, whether you've been on different star systems, whether you've been in different Earth realms or different realms. You know, there is a multiverse. A lot of Joe Rogan's podcast speakers have actually come on and spoken about the multiverse. There's so much science now to back it up. And you know, we're not just these humans on Earth in this 3D reality. Like, let's get real, guys. If you don't know, now you know. So thanks for coming. And so, you know, we're multidimensional beings. And once we can wrap our heads around that and accept that and truly honor and love that version of ourselves, that is when you step into this like esoteric field, right? That's when you step into this like beautiful knowing of cosmo consciousness. And it's like, if you can think about anything, if you can, you know, dream anything, or if you can believe in anything, then you can manifest it. And it's having that belief and having that knowledge, and then having that trust that you are right where you need to be at the right time. And again, everything's perfect. So for me, when I teach people about channeling energy, it's like, first things first, believe you're worthy, change your money blueprint, and then, you know, get really connected with the ether, the etheric field. The etheric field is connected to, you know, your crown chakra. Get really connected to your chakras. Your chakra systems allow you to be multidimensional. You know, being multidimensional allows you access to a higher dimension. You know, we currently sit in the third dimension. So then let's go into fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth dimension. What plays there? How can we play there? And it's like, if you actually speak to high level entrepreneurs or people, you know, in the world that are making fucking millions and billions of dollars, all of them, I can guarantee you, have deep spiritual beliefs about the fifth dimension and above.
Yeah.
All of them know how to turn their chakras on. All of them know how to access their multidimensional self. And it's so huge. It's such a huge belief system, and it's such a huge ritual and practice that if more people started to embody that and break away from the matrix, more people would be so successful. So, you know, for those of you who are listening who really want to step into a higher version of yourself, first things first, I'd say start meditating. When I was really depressed, when I was really anxious, when I had a lot of mental health issues, I started on Headspace, you know, 10 minutes a night. I would put Headspace on, I would go to sleep, you know, slowly but surely I started going onto YouTube, doing 10-minute easy meditations. My favorite meditations on YouTube actually is called Great Meditation. They've got hundreds of different free meditations that are so easy.
I just did a podcast on a guided meditation. So the one before this is a guided meditation. So if you want to know how to meditate, just go to the podcast episode before this.
Oh, well done, babe. That's so cool. I'll do it actually tonight.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Oh my God, I would love to do it. Thanks. And yet, like, allowing yourself that time to step out of your busy life or what's going on for you and actually tune into your own energy, tune into yourself, your soul, and give yourself that time and allow yourself access to your third eye, opening the veil, seeing those visualizations. It'll propel you forward. And a lot of really successful entrepreneurs that I've been learning and listening and getting their resources and their tools, a lot of these high level people talk about visualization techniques and, sitting and thinking about them putting a Ferrari belt buckle on, and they see it every single day. Eventually what will happen is those doors will start to open for you, that manifestation will start to come through. So for me, I kept seeing $100,000 in my spreadsheets. I've got the spreadsheet that I, track all my clients, and so cool. And I just kept seeing myself having that $100,000 there and celebrating myself and thinking about the feeling of that. And that's when we talk about true manifestation. It's like you need to connect the feeling to the visual and then allow yourself to bring that energy forward. And so, that's true manifestation. And so I manifest probably consistently, like maybe 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And I always set my goals. So I know my goals for every month. I know my goal for the year. I track my goals. I track my KPIs. I check in with my team every morning. I have a team meeting with them once a week. And I just make sure that everything in the back end is working so smoothly. Also that my energy is right. So by meditating, by doing breath work, by grounding, by making sure I walk with no shoes on, like those simple practices make such a big difference when it comes to like channeling energy, and it comes to your business, and it comes to your taking care of yourself. Because in order for you to be able to take this business to the next level or to grow your mindset, you need to get yourself right.
Yeah.
So yay.
I love that so much. There's so many ways that we can take this.
I know. I'm just thinking to so many different paths. Right?
And you mentioned spiritual awakening and spirit guides. Now, I've had multiple psychics come on my show and speak about spirit guides and this moment of an awakening. However, I'd love to hear your perspective on spirit guides, aliens, like you mentioned before, beings, and awakenings.
Cool. Thanks so much. So I believe that there are so many different types of awakenings that people have. Mainly when I talk about the awakening, it's like the initiation of getting out of the matrix and stepping out of that full 3D reality that we've been sold. We come into earth, we're born, we go to school, we get told when we can eat, we get told when we can go to the toilet, we have to put our hand up to even go to the toilet. We have to ask for permission, so that then instills like a belief in us that we have to ask for permission to do things. Which I really nut out when I start coaching people too. I'm like, don't say sorry to me firstly. Secondly, don't ask me for permission. You do. You stand in your power, you lead yourself, you create solutions, and you do, baby girl, you do. And so I believe really truly having the awakening is like, oh my God, we don't live in this matrix anymore. We don't have to do it this way. I've been sold the dream and that's actually not true for me. Or, you've been working a job for a long time and you're like, I actually hate this and I actually don't like my life and I've just been living here on pilot mode, and you're just kind of been floating through life, not really fully turned on or activated. And so when people start to be activated, they have this awakening, they have this initiation into what else is out there. Quite often they go through the rabbit holes of like learning about spiritual development, going into some conspiracies. First things first, I hope that everyone listening here is drinking filtered water. Because
we've done a podcast on that actually.
Great, baby, because it's so important. Like fluoride in your water can really, damage the pineal gland. The pineal gland connects us to our third eye. Our third eye is obviously one of our chakras. Our chakras connects us to the multidimensional being. It's all connected, guys. And I think it's really important that we realize when we're going through a spiritual awakening that you're not alone and that there's a lot of people out there. You've just got to find your tribe again. And so it can be lonely and dark at the start and that's actually why I got into coaching. Another reason I got into coaching was because when I went through my big spiritual awakening, I was like, I don't want anyone to feel lonely and like they don't have anyone to talk to about this because it's so weird and wacky, especially when I first started channeling aliens. I thought I was fucking wacky. I mean, I am a bit wacky. I own being wacky and I love, I don't know about this. and I love being weird and I love being a bit wacky. And Yeah, so I had my spiritual awakening actually about 5 years ago after the drug addiction, and once I'd healed a little bit of trauma there, I started to connect to spirit guides. And the biggest mission for me wanting to connect to my spirit guides was actually because I really wanted to talk to my auntie who had passed, and my grandfather and my aunt, my grandmother, and I had a couple of friends that had passed away at that point, and I was like soul searching, babe. I was just like on the journey of like wanting to connect with these people so that I could tune in and talk to them. And I was never really scared of spirits. I was like, well, they're just people that have passed over. I don't think it's a big deal. And so I started connecting to my spirit guides and then got access to my spirit guides. And I was like, oh my God, so like tears rolling down my eyes, like so much love, so much bliss, so much joy. And I was like, this is amazing. This is what life's all about. Like I want to connect to these beautiful things. And to my surprise, my spirit guides weren't just human spirits. I had this big, tall, grey alien, and I'm like, this is fucking weird, I was like, what the fuck? And then I had this other being that looks like a human. However, he is actually full Palladian, and he told me he was Palladian. And at this point, I had no idea what a Palladian was. So, of course, I then had to research it. And I was like, Palladian's a starseed. Cool, what are a starseed? So then I just followed some more breadcrumbs. Okay, so starseeds are beings that come from different dimensions, that come from different stargates, star races, and they've come into Earth at this time to ascend Earth to the fifth dimension. And I'm like, okay, cool. What is the fifth dimension? Okay, so, listen to different podcasts, read different books, watch different YouTubers, and I just went on this like absolute rabbit hole of like education, learning. How can I soak up all this information so that I can know this inside out? And I became quite literally obsessed. And so it became my hobby, became my interest, my hobby. It's all I wanted to talk about. It's all I wanted to do. And I started going through this huge transition of being this like massive party girl, owning this lash business, like having this identity as like, having to have a new outfit every weekend to feel good about myself because I didn't feel enough, and still having anxiety and not wanting to tell my friends and family, like just all this darkness that I kept hiding, to then really wanting to heal myself, heal my wounds, talk about guides, talk about crystals, talk about meditation. And it was just like this new hobby had come in. And so when my spirit guide said to me, you've got to go to the Gold Coast, I was like, right, it's a fresh start. My ego was like, no, don't go. You don't have any friends there. You don't know anyone. Like, you don't have a lash business. If you don't have a lash business, who are you? And I had created such an identity around this version of myself that needed to die.
Yeah.
And when I came up to the Gold Coast, I came up with a best friend who was extremely toxic. And I loved her so much. I had such a codependency on her that I needed to have her around me. And one day I chose myself, and I had never, ever, ever chosen myself before. She, sent me a really nasty message that was pages and pages and pages and pages and pages long about all the things I had supposedly done to her. And in that moment, I used to want to attack her or be like, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And also like, no, that wasn't me. And apologize for this. And Justify. That's the word I was looking for. Thanks, babe. Fully justify everything. And in that moment, I just said, you know what? I love you and I can't do this anymore. It's not serving you. It's not serving me. I love you and I send you love. And I'm so grateful for all the memories, and I'm not doing this anymore. And it was the first time in my life I'd really, truly chosen myself. And to let her go was like bigger than any breakup that I've ever had. It was like this whole identity shift of like, who am I? So much to the point where I deleted all my social media. She went and told all these different rumors in Melbourne, and everyone in Melbourne believed her. And I was like, wow. In a space of a few weeks, all my community turned against me, all my friends, like everyone turned against me. And I was like, wow. And then my mindset shift. Thank you, universe, for getting rid of the people that no longer serve me on my journey. Thank you, universe, for allowing me space to bring in my soul tribe. Universe, I'm ready for my soul tribe. And just like that, I made the most beautiful, deep connections. I think that's when you and I first started speaking. Yeah. I've got goosebumps. Oh, I love you. And then I called these people in that are, higher versions of
my crown chakra was like, this is,
oh my God,
yeah, that literally the day that I met Nat, we were at a friend's birthday dinner.
Yeah.
And we sat down and we just like kind of locked eyes, and you started talking about dragons and aliens, and I was talking about ascending the consciousness of the planet, and then we were like, oh, great, cool. We've got a 20-year contract together.
Yes.
We're both Palladian. We're both aliens. Let's go.
Yes. And it was just so seamless. And it was like, fuck, I feel like I've known you forever. And then it's like, of course, we've done this in so many past lives. I'm covered in goosebumps right now talking about this.
Oh, that's so
I
good.
love this. I can't wait for the footage to come out. I want so many cool reels out of this.
So many.
So cool. So, yeah, at that point, I was making more room for more growth, and then I just kind of had to keep following the breadcrumbs. You know, I went to a meditation class. Actually, I went to a kirtan class. I sing Hare Krishnas. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Krishna. And I fucking love kirtan. Anyone that knows me knows how much I love kirtan. I made Lisa come with me, and I'm like, Lisa, I'm like crying. I'm like, this is the best day of my life.
It was really wholesome.
It was.
It was an experience, yes.
So cool. And I literally go all the time, and I just sit in the back and I meditate and I cry and I pray to universal source energy, and it's a me thing that I do, and I go alone most of the time. And this one day I rock up and there's this lady sitting next to me, and turns out she owned an NLP school, and she was like, you should come. And I was like, well, man, you're sitting next to me and I never talk to people here, so yeah, I should. And it was like, I went there, and then I met another mentor.
And then I was in that prac room with you.
That prac room.
Yeah. And we were like, oh, hello, we met each other last week and now we're in this NLP prac room together.
Yeah. And then it's just, yeah, man, it was amazing. It was only like a year and a half ago too. We've been able to evolve so much.
I know.
And then like out of that NLP room, I felt so unworthy, and I felt so not good enough on so many levels. I was like, why would someone want to coach with me? I'm not a good coach. I'm still not a good person. I'm not healed. I'm all these things. And I just keep telling myself all these negative stories. And then, so that was in October, not last year, year before. And then in January, I was doing a group container, and my mentor said to me, today, you've got to launch your business. And I was like, I'm not ready. The beings that I'm working with, like, they said no. And truly my spirit guides were like, just wait. And then it was also just fear just holding me back. And then I started my business, and bada bing, bada boom, became, so successful. I mean, it has been such a journey. So then going back to the alien thing, about when I broke up with that girl, as soon as I broke up with her, the next day I got access to all my gifts. I started channeling light language. Once I started channeling light language, so light language, for those of you who don't know, is the highest language or highest frequency a human being can basically radiate at. We channel these codes through our bodies, through our multidimensional self, out for frequency for your soul to be activated. And so when we channel this light language, it hits directly to your soul. All starseeds speak this language if they have their soul gifts activated, which is
trust.
And trusting, that's right. And that's another huge thing that I love to do, is activate people's soul gifts. Is it's like, come on, you were born to be psychic and a medium and all these wonderful things that you were told as a little kid from the Matrix that you can't do.
It's not real because you can't see it.
Yeah, and it's like, we all have this gift. Every single person is psychic. It's just whether or not you choose to tune in. And same with your spirit guides, same with aliens and beings. Like, they are all there from the 4th, 5th, 6th dimension and above. If you just want to stay in the 3D, that's cool. And though there's so much else out there that you can tune into. So for me, it was just like following the breadcrumbs, what felt right. It was so exciting as well, being able to really see these beings come into my room. I was like, fuck, if anyone listened to me, they'd think I was crazy. And then it became so real. The synchronicities happened so quickly. I couldn't deny it anymore. I was like, this is so real. And so this one day I will never forget. I was walking around this beautiful lake, and I look above me and I can see these 2 big dragons flying in the sky, and I'm like, no way. I'm laughing. I'm pinching myself. I'm like, what reality am I in right now? Is this real? And I'm like, Natalie, maybe you're hallucinating. And I was like, you're not seeing dragons. So I put my head down, and then these dragons like, rawr, and I was like, what the fuck and I'm looking around thinking, can anyone else see this? Or am I tripping? And then quite literally that afternoon, I put my headphones in and I was driving Uber Eats at the stage and just to get money. And I had my headphones in and I put on this random podcast and this girl said, I've been channeling dragons. And I quite literally, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I can't deny this anymore. Mm-hmm. These actual dragons, and I'm actually seeing them. So I was like, I need to go home. I need to breathe out. I need time out. So I got home. I went upstairs. I lived in a 2-storied house. I went out onto my balcony. I kid you not, this dragon comes up and like nuzzles its head into me. Like I'm standing on my balcony, it nuzzles its head into me. Tears are just rolling down my eyes, down my face, down my eyes, down my face, down the eyes face.
From the eyes to
From
face.
the eyes to the face. And I'm like, this is the most magical, beautiful thing I'm ever experiencing. And I'm like, oh my God, I believe all of this. I believe all of this. And it's like, if you can believe it, then it's fucking real.
Yeah.
If you don't believe it, then you're not going to see it.
Yeah, of course.
And so magic is real.
Yeah.
And I would say to those listeners that are like, this girl's crazy, I would say open your mind and believe that incredible, beautiful, wonderful things can happen to you and that fairies exist and that aliens exist and that, you know, dragons exist. Then if your imagination can create it, then where did the imagination come from? And like all those cartoons that we see, like even Avatar, if you actually look at the real life version of Avatar, like if you look at how they created it, Avatar was channeled.
Yeah, 100%.
And, you know, I've also had past lives of me being an Avatar and I had a dragon in that lifetime. And it was so real. The emotions that were brought up were so fucking real. And it just goes to show that we've been, you know, we're such immortal beings. We've been here time and time again. We've lived different lifetimes, whether it's on Earth or in different starseeds or galactics, you know, like it's endless. It's endless, the imagination that we can create and have. So then how isn't it real?
Well, you think about electricity.
Yes.
Once upon a time, that was not real.
Yes.
Someone imagined that and then created that. Imagine that person, forgive me, I don't know who that is. I'd have to look that up.
Electricity was...
I can't think of
Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, I can't think of the top of my head. Anyway, like just for example's sake, right? Imagine trying to pitch to everyone this thing called electricity that isn't real.
Yes.
Everyone at the time would have been like, "You're crazy.
You're crazy," and he was like, "I'm holding the faith. I hold the vision."
And therefore now, like every single person uses electricity in their life. So
except Amazonia, except I probably bet there's like a couple of tribes in the world that don't have electricity.
Yeah.
And even then, people still probably show them electricity.
There's an entirely new rabbit hole there.
Yes, that's another whole thing anyway.
However, for the example's sake, I think like what I'm trying to say is basically like that anything is possible because how do we know something's not real yet if it's just like we haven't created it or experienced it?
Yes. Oh my God, yes. And actually, let's go back to the Amazonian people for a moment. Okay, imagine this. Imagine the people in the Amazon, like they have no fucking idea what an iPhone is. Imagine if we went to them and we were like, this is an iPhone. Yeah. This is, hey, we've got speakers and we've got like headphones on right now. We've got some lights on. Like we've got phones, we've got computers, TVs, you name it, we've got it. They're going to be like, what the fuck? You know, we still eat and kill our prey. Like there's no way. Their consciousness cannot comprehend a mobile phone, let alone the internet. Like they would need so much time to explain. Like you couldn't even explain it to them, right? And so you think about what's going to come in the future. We probably can't even comprehend it in our consciousness yet because we haven't evolved there yet. And it's so fascinating to think like, where this will evolve, where the world will really evolve in terms of consciousness.
Well, it's easy then, linking that to what we were just saying, to listen to this podcast and go, oh, Nat's crazy, or at least it's crazy because we both believe in the same things. Like I see dragons, I have my spirit guides and all that kind of stuff. We've got my angel wings as we've done in the healing before. And it's easy to listen to both of us and go, oh, like that's woo or that's crazy, when in reality it's just something that is different and a new perspective, and also like, it's something that in the future, who knows where consciousness will evolve to.
Yeah.
Because this is such a new concepts and new thinking.
Yes.
It's easy to just reject change by using a cop-out such as, oh, I don't know, or like that's too much for me or too woo for me, rejecting that.
And just allowing yourself to be open when you have these conversations and when you hear these conversations, because the more open you can be, the more your vortex can open, the more money you can make, the happier you'll be in your life, the more possibilities are there for you. It just, everything's connected, so it will all flow.
Yeah, 100%. Now, Nat, I would like to just ask as well, in regards to light language too, would you be able to channel in some light language for the listeners, for the collective?
Oh my God, love that, love that. Yes. Okay, guys. So for anyone that is driving, feel free to listen to this again later, allowing yourself to just close down your eyes and take a big deep breath in. Allowing yourself right now to deepen your breath as you listen to this. And if it makes no sense to you, that's perfect. If you feel something in your body, if you see colours, if you see shapes, if you just think it's a lot of shit, that's okay.
We still love you.
We be open. Be so open to this. Your soul will recognise this at a soul level. So just allowing yourself to let go and take a big deep breath in. So I'm activating you and initiating you into your next level of consciousness. I would love you to put your hand on your heart chakra, allowing your palm to come over your heart space. From my being to you, thank you. Yay.
Yay. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I love it. And so how did you start doing that? Because
great question.
I've started channeling light language myself. Yeah. I actually want to do this afterwards. I want to
channel
yeah, let's do it.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, so awesome.
When I first had that experience for me, I was like, am I just making up gibberish?
I thought the same
what
thing
was
too.
that experience like for you?
Well, I had been trying to channel it for years, actually. I was super obsessed with it. I started listening to lots of different podcasts, lots of different YouTubers. I actually watched, I think, every single YouTuber that had any sort of light language, and I'd watched it probably 3 times over. And I was so obsessed with wanting to learn it that when I started Reiki and doing Reiki as like a career modality, yeah. I had a girl come in actually, and she said to me, I'm so grateful for her. I messaged her the other day being like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. I love you.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I invited her to my event for free actually, but she was busy. So anyway, Brittany, if you're listening to this, babe, love you. She said to me, I think you should try and channel light language tomorrow. And I was like, whoa, okay. And I hadn't tried for about 6 months at this point. Every time I tried, it just like couldn't come through. It was like some sort of block. And so, yeah, I literally woke up one morning, like the next morning, and I sat in meditation and I just said, right, I'm ready. Like I'm ready to develop the codes. I'm ready to lead my soul tribe. I'm ready for wherever the mission's going to take me. I'm ready to fully commit to serving humanity and conspiring to whatever my mission may be. And so it came out of my mouth and it was like the vibration was so fast. It was fully flickering in my eyes.
Yeah.
And
you can feel like goosebumps all over your body, yeah?
Yeah, and almost like your body's like starting to elevate.
Yeah.
For me, that was what was like I was feeling. And it was just so natural and it was so peaceful and it was so like, oh my God, I've done this 100 million times, of course. This is like my natural language. English isn't actually my natural language. This is.
Yeah.
And that was such a massive perception shift. I was like, whoa, this is my natural language. Whoa. And then I was like, whoa, dude, So I started, channeling light language. And then the next day I went down to the beach and I said, okay, I'm going to connect to the Palladian Collective. And then they were able to channel through me. I had a beautiful being called Emra come through my body, and my consciousness was able to step aside and she was able to talk through me. And that's when I realized that we've been sold that we're humans, because we're fucking not human. Like, we are 100% multidimensional beings that are able to totally tap into what else is out there, and we are not playing in this fucking earth alone. There are thousands, millions, trillions beyond our wildest imagination. There's so much out there that we don't know, Elise.
Yeah.
And the more we know, the less we know sometimes too, right?
Yes.
And so, it was just a transition of, I then had to download the access and the codes to this. So for about a week straight, I was channeling light language all day, every day.
Yeah.
Even to the point where I couldn't wipe my bum sometime. I was like channeling light language sitting on the toilet.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh my God. It was like this huge integration had to come in. And then I started doing a lot of research into if we're in some sort of matrix or if we're in some sort of simulation, because I feel like I was a computer getting a download or an upgrade. And then I dived deep into a couple of conspiracies and rabbit holes and round and round and upside down. And
I remember when I first met you, I think you were like deep in that phase.
In that phase. Oh my god.
The bumper stickers.
Oh my God. Yes, guys. I created this other side business that was like full anti-vax. Like full fucking anti-vax. Because I started getting all these downloads from beings from different dimensions that they are actually trying to change the human race, the DNA in the human race. And this is when I started talking to a lot of different beings, and they were like, Nat, what's going on in the world is actually not okay. And I started to get all this intel that wasn't just surface level shit you're seeing on social media. This was like, I'm having beings come to me and tell me like this is not okay, and that I needed to spread awareness and love. So you best believe it. I was at every fucking rally. I was at Parliament House every fucking week. I was doing everything I could for the light to help them. And whatever your belief system is perfect for you at that time, and know that your body can heal itself and change itself. However, like there's some pretty absolutely mind-blowing technology that is out there these days. And so the information that I was getting was that I needed to spread more awareness. So I started these bumper stickers and they were cool. That was so cool.
Peak of when I met you.
Yeah. So it's called, what was my business even called? Change Your Life or something. Oh, Form a Change. That's it.
Well, you're doing that now, babe.
Yeah, it totally am. And it was an amazing journey. I met some beautiful people, and a lot of those beautiful people that I met actually I'm now coaching, which is a really interesting side road that I took to get me to where I am now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so I have like one last question, and then another one that I always finish with my guests on.
Yay.
So Starseed Society, if someone is listening to this right now, how do they know if they are a starseed?
If you're listening to this, you're a starseed.
Literally. It's called Generation Elevation for a reason.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, if you've been brought here, or if you've been called to listen to this episode, especially if you're listening till now, thank you for listening, by the way. I truly, truly believe that this is because your soul chose you to come, it showed you to come here to listen to this so that you can be activated, especially because you just got a light language activation.
Yeah, 100%, definitely. And if you listen to the previous episode on the meditation too.
What a perfect.
I know. It was my 52nd episode.
Oh, baby.
So it's like a year anniversary.
I'm so proud of your journey.
Thank you.
And how you've evolved and how you've been able to grow and transform. And thank you so much for this opportunity. You inspire me daily. I love spending time with you. I love seeing you in your magic.
Yeah.
You're the best, babe.
Thank you, Nat.
You're welcome, honey.
It's the same.
I know. Guys, if you don't have a soul sister, call it in. All you need to do is say, I set the intention to call in my soul tribe. I set the intention to call in my soul family. You want an Elise in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. Love it.
So, Nat, where can my followers and listeners find you if they want to learn more about your What's My Mission event, your masterclasses? Where can they find you?
Thank you so much. So, Starseed Society 1111, the 1111 is Like 11:11. I want you to think of the
11:11.
11:11. And the reason for that is because when I first started my spiritual awakening, like many of you, I saw 11:11 everywhere and I knew that was a portal. So I was like, I'm going to be Starseed Society 11:11. However, Instagram don't let you do that ... Oh, they don't let you do that ... in your bio.
So it's just quadruple one.
Just quadruple one, yes. So I've got Facebook, I've got Instagram, I've got TikTok, and soon to be a YouTube channel as well, which would be really cool. So stay tuned. My most preferred platform is definitely Instagram. In my bio, you can find my masterclasses, you can find my events, you can find my workshops, you can find all the new things that are coming.
Amazing.
Yay.
And one last question for you, Nat, before we wrap up today. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready. If you could channel in or just come up with the first thing that comes to mind when I ask this, it doesn't have to relate to what we've said today.
I've already got it.
What would be that thing that the listeners need to hear right now?
Be more of you. And when I mean that, I mean the weird, wild, wacky, dragon, weird alien version of you that you keep hiding. Be more of. Be authentically you. Yay.
Thank you so much. I love you.
I love you. I love you so much.
That was so cool. We'll have to do that again.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of the Generation Elevation community. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to leave a 5-star rating, written review, share, and tag me on Instagram at elise.riley. Until next time, keep loving, keep learning, and keep rising.